Today we are going to see about optimal binary search tree. This is the next topic that we are going to learn in dynamic programming. What is a binary search tree? What's a binary search tree and what's the difference between a binary tree and a binary search tree? These are all very good Viva questions for your lab. So I want you guys to make a note of these questions, learn the answers for them as well.
In binary search tree, the left node has a lesser value compared to the right node, ma'am.
Very good. And the root node? Okay, it's a good try. But then what's the difference between binary tree and binary search tree? Binary tree is one with exactly two nodes, except for the last level. But in binary search tree, the property is the left subtree should be lesser than the root node and the right subtree. And the right subtree will always be greater than the root and the left subtree. So your root node will be greater than the left subtree and it will be less than your right subtree. So that being said, coming back to binary search tree, the key value of the left side is left child is smaller than parent node and the key value of the right child is greater than the parent node. When you're talking about a balanced binary search tree, we saw that even in the last level, it should be starting from the left hand side. Okay, so coming to optimal binary search tree, what is optimal binary search tree and why should we go for it? Let's take two examples and then find out figure out why exactly do we need to go for optimal binary search tree. First example is you need to translate given a scenario. I'm just giving you two scenarios. Think about it. You need to translate an English document containing N words to Kannada. So in order to translate, you are basically given a dictionary which gives you the translation from Kannada to English. So what are you expected to do? You need to take each word, find out the Kannada translation for that English word, and then you need to make a note of it. Now let's say there are certain uh, words that are repeating. Then each time it is repeating, you'll have to go to the same position, take the word, and you have to answer. So in that case, what we find is there are n number of if you have n words you have to go search your dictionary n number of times and each time you have to go till that particular location of that particular word and try to get the value. So it takes a very long time when you're trying to do directly. Okay, so basically the translation time that will take will be n into log n, so n log n. But if we know the frequency of occurrence of each word in the English document, then basically we can do much better. Wherein all the places where it is there, as soon as we find out, we can make a note of it. But still, how do we go about doing this process by making sure that we are trying to look up into the dictionary for the least number of times? That is the main problem definition. So, how do we optimally organize the binary search tree? Let's take another example. You are an electronic tailor, okay, who are I'm sorry, e-retailer. You are an e-retailer who's selling phones, mobile phones. There are totally n types of brands or models that are present. Now, different customers will choose different brands or models, and you need to organize the product details in the binary search tree, like the price of each and every product. So, if your tree contains what are all the different models that are there and what is the price of each and every model, when a customer wants to basically buy a phone, he has to go look up into the table, go see the model, the company, then he has to go. I'm sorry, first he has to look at the brand, then the model of the brand, and then basically he has to look at the price. So much of searching he has to do to have one lookup of the price. So how do we make it better in such a way that say if 3 4 people are buying the same thing, all 3 4 people had to do similar amount of searches to be on the tree. So how do we come up with a efficient binary tree which will provide us with the least number of checking that can be done? Okay, so if in case let's say I'm just going for a normal binary search tree, then we will see with the example. how exactly it is inefficient and how exactly it keeps changing. So basic objective for us is organizing the binary search tree in such a way to reduce the average lookup time that can happen. Now given n nodes, how many possible binary search trees can you do? If this is one formula that you can use for calculating the number of binary search trees that are possible, that is 2n cn divided by n plus 1. So if I'm telling 2, the number of nodes is 2, then basically it will be 4c2, okay, 2 power 2. This is 2n is 2 power n. So it is 4c2 divided by 2 plus 1, which is 3. So that will give you 2. So you basically can have two binary search trees with two nodes. That is this node, this one, and this. When you come to three nodes, it will be uh sorry 2 into 3, that is 6. 6c3, which is 6c3 by 4, gives me 5. So what are the 5 binary search trees that you can have? I said the right subtree values should be greater than the parent, and the left subtree value should be less than the parent. So this is possible. Okay, this is also possible. Wherein this is 3 is greater than 1, 2 is less than 3. So 2 comes to the left, 3 comes to the right. This is also possible. Yes. Then this is also possible. This is also possible. So how many trees are possible here? Totally 5 different trees are possible. And if you take 4, number of nodes is 4, then basically 14 trees are possible. So the 14 trees are, you can see. So as and when the number of nodes increase, the number of possible combinations increase. So if you're gonna go for brute force method, then you have to try to find out the average computation for each and every one of the possible values of the trees and find out which gives you the best option and use that particular tree. Now don't you think that will be too time consuming when the number of nodes become more? Now if you take the first example, each and every word is one node. So if you tell English to Kannada translation, then you basically know if you have around 50 words to be translated, then basically 50 nodes. So you know how many combinations you will get. So given n keys with respective probabilities of occurrence, how many times each and every key occurs, we need to find a binary search tree with minimum average number of comparisons and successful search. That is, we need to have minimum number of comparisons before we can come to the uh, price that we wanted to see, or the word for whose translation we wanted to see. So brute force method basically goes for exponential number of searches, and it is very impractical to implement. So let's take one example. If you consider 4 keys, A, B, C, and D are the 4 keys that you are given, and there are the probabilities of the occurrence of A, B, C, and D are 0.1, 0.2, zero point 0.4, and zero point 0.3. Now, if you are given these as the values, you need to compute the average number of comparisons for the binary search tree given below. So if, let's say, we are taking this particular binary search tree as our optimal binary search tree, what exactly will be the possible, what will be the average number of comparisons? How do we compute average number of comparisons? If someone wants to access C, in one comparison they'll access C. If they want to access B, in two comparisons they can access B. That is comparing with C and then comparing with B. If they want to access A, it is 1, 2, 3 comparisons. And if they want to access D, it is 1, 2 comparisons. Now this being said, so the average comparison will be how many ever times the word letters are appearing into the number of comparisons you're going to take for each. So A is 0.1 and you need 3 comparisons for A. So 0.1 into 3 plus B is 0.2, and for B you need 2 comparisons, so zero point 0.2 into 2 plus for C it is only one comparison, so zero point 0.4 into 1, and for D it is 2 comparisons, so zero point 0.3 into 2. So if we find out totally we get 1.7 as the value. Now when you are, let's say we take an other uh, binary search tree, this particular possibility of a binary search tree. Now if you see, for C number of comparison is 1, for A number of comparison is 2, for B number of comparison is 3, for D number of comparison is 2. Now if we find the average number of comparisons the same way how I taught you before, you basically end up getting 1.8. So we find that the first binary search tree was more optimal or gives me less average number of comparisons when compared to the second tree. So when we have this formula, how exactly are we going to find out which is the optimal way in which we can come up with one binary search tree which will provide us the minimum average number of comparisons. In order to do that, we will use the principle of optimality. Okay, so finding the optimal binary search tree, when you're talking about 4 nodes, you will require 14 binary search trees, so it becomes very difficult. So what we are gonna do is, let's say we want to check for C of ij. In order to do the comparison of C of ij initially will be C of 1 comma n, telling from one node to n nodes. When I have, what is the smallest number of comparisons that I'm going to do. So for finding this, the principle of optimality tells us that we need to divide them into smaller problems, compute for the smaller problems, and whatever solution we've got, we need to use it for future purpose. Correct? So what we are going to do is we are going to reduce the C of 1 comma n into different values of intermediate nodes, and we are going to compute. So I'll just take the example and explain to you how it works. And for each node that we are computing, we will have to find out the root node as well. What will be the root node? And that will only help us to, in the end, come up with a optimal tree for which we will get the optimal value. Okay. So we need to derive a recurrence for C of I comma j, and then we need to find the root ak for that particular value, wherein k will be the intermediate one, and consider all possible ways of choosing the root node. So among all the different root nodes that we have, we need to find the minimum of that, and we need to take it. So if we tell k as the root node, then you need to have I to k minus 1 as your left subtree and k plus 1 to j as your right subtree, because we are taking this node as the root, meaning everything to the left should be less than the root node and everything to the right should be greater than the root node. So that is how we will take it. So recurrence for VST using dynamic programming basically is using this particular formula, meaning for the first node, number of comparisons is 1. That is the root node, number of comparisons is 1. And we will try to take the number of comparisons with the probabilities from for the left subtree and then for the right subtree. So adding all this, what will be the minimum value is what we have to get is the main recurrence that we have. So we are just going to derive it to come to a minimum value. So the first node is pk into 1 basically stands as pk itself, and these two we are writing as it is. Fine. This is left subtree, this is right subtree, and this is the root node. Number of comparisons for root node plus number of comparisons for left subtree and number of comparisons for right subtree. We are taking the probability mainly because probability talks about the number of occurrences of the same object or the same node value. So if I, yeah, here if you see, I have plus 1, right? So what I'll do, I am just uh, expanding this. So when I'm expanding this, I'll get sigma s of I to k minus 1 ps levels of as plus sigma I to s of I minus 1 ks ps. This is separately for 1. This value into this value into 1. Same way over here also I'm getting it. Now if I add all these, I'll basically get, I have sigma s of s equal to I to k minus 1, k plus 1 to j. So if I join these two, I can basically tell s equal to I to j. But then you can tell k is missing, and that k we have over here as pk. So when I'm adding that pk as well, I can tell that sigma s of I to k minus 1 ps plus pk plus sigma s equal to k plus 1 to j ps. Entire thing I can put it as sigma s of I to j ps. Okay, so this entire thing takes care of these three values, and these two I am keeping it as it is. This is left subtree comparisons, right subtree comparisons. So if you see, this basically becomes a constant value for us, so we can take it out of the minimum value. So sigma ps, this will remain as it is, and between these two we can find out which is the minimum value, and that we can add to all the probabilities that we have. This basically takes care of for each node how much of time comparisons does it take. Then we will try to take it based on the probability. So final formula that you need to remember is C of ij. For any C of ij you want to find out, it is equal to sigma s equal to I to j probability of the value s plus minimum of I and j for all k's. K's are the different probabilities that you can have having each and every one of the nodes as the root. So k stands for the root node. So you can talk about the number of comparisons from I to k minus 1 and number of comparisons from k plus 1 to j as well. So the recurrence, so when we are talking about the ij as I and I minus 1, basically I minus 1 will become, we are going to make it as 0, telling that there is no left subtree to the root node I. Okay, when I'm making a of I, c of I comma I minus 1, I'm telling there is no left subtree. And when I'm taking j and j plus 1, then basically it means there is no right subtree. So that will also become 0. And c of I comma I will be the probability of occurrence of that particular node. This concludes the theory session on optimal binary search tree with an example. In the next session, we will be learning about how to solve a problem using optimal binary search tree, how exactly it works.